See how through laser you can cut very intricate shapes for your profiles. And this is where you can get all the rounds, the rectangular cuts, and you can take it for fabrication, where you get flat sheets. You take the flat sheets to this machine to do the bending. What is very interesting about CNC bending operation is that this bending operation is very, very intricate and very accurate. Stainless steel has a property of spring back. If you bend 90 degrees, finally you will land up with some 87 or 86. So this machine has the capability, a computer, to calculate the material properties of stainless steel. You can feed in the grades, 304, and it will bend exactly 90 degrees. It has that capability of calculating and bending. And I also told you that to get this radius, we had 22 strokes. So it did the 22 strokes on the machine to get this radius. So by 22 strokes, what do I get? I get more strength, more rigidity. And where do I need strength and rigidity? On the corners. Those are the areas where the damages can occur. That also I found it from the factory. That's why factory visit and materials understanding is very, very important. So it was fabricated. So then we, had this interesting process of, getting the raw material manufactured. So we also got this Scotch Brite finish. You can see this dull finish manufactured in Jindal stainless steel. Then we got the plastic, as I showed you, manufactured by GE Plastics. We, got it specifically tailor-made manufacturing for us. Then we made this, rust-proof locks from Godrej, because when we went during our survey, we found out the locks were rusting. Then we went for CNC manufacturing, very, very high quality manufacturing with, again, Jindal architecture. Then, as I told you earlier, we got the best adhesives so that there's no chance that these things will open up in the field, because they have to be really, really strong. And then when you bolt it to the floor, there's a lot of technology in bolting where you use anchor bolts for bolting the box to the floor. And that also is a very large technology of expansion anchor bolts which are bolted to the floor. So we went to the best companies to get this thing done. And then we implemented the 200 number. It was a great, experience to see the whole factory full of these boxes in Jindal. I was in the factory. We had quality control, from IDC. So we had our staff flying to Delhi, checking out whether the quality is right, all the systems are working properly. And finally, we dispatched 200 numbers, to different parts of the country. So it was installed all over the country, from Jammu and Kashmir to Kanyakumari to Guwahati, and we waited for the results. So this first dispatch, India Post is a government organization. It's a ministry, so they're very, very sensitive to feedback. So they said that first we will install 1010 in all these locations. We'll get feedback from them, and after feedback, we'll give you the larger order. We will then put a tender for a larger order, and it will go into the market. Very logical. We were also pretty happy because the first 20 gave us very good results. The first 20 were put up in 5 different locations: Mumbai, Delhi, Patna, and Chennai. But what went wrong with us was, from our design process, was there was no rural area. It was all put up in cities. So what type of feedback did I get? Excellent, very good. You saw all those newspaper clippings? Like past imperfect, future perfect, whatever, all those great feedback we got. But then what happened when we made 200 numbers? When we put 200 numbers in the field, they went to all the remote locations. Because what happens when you give individual post offices, they only put up these boxes wherever there's a need. And wherever there's a requirement, there's a waiting list. So as soon as the 10 new boxes went, and the waiting list could be in the district areas, in the rural areas, and everywhere. And then we got the right feedback. Most of the population is in the rural areas and district headquarters. And from people-centered point of view, the design identification was, not thought of. And then we got a user feedback where large number of users could not recognize the box. So after doing this whole story, you realize what type of shock we can come to if you don't keep the larger user base in our mind. We got a feedback of around 60 to 70% of the post officers said people are not able to identify our post box. There was a double-edged sword here. When you send one box somewhere to a remote area, there's hardly any identification because all the other boxes are round. And there's no advertising, there is no information processing, there was no paper articles like the cities. So there we fell back on. And then the long-standing image, see, this is again very important. The post boxes are classic product which stayed for 40 to 50 years in the field. So there's an ingrained image of the box in the minds of the people, and the paint companies sell paint by calling post office red. You heard about it? Post office red. It's so important. And the red color was very critical. Stainless steel confused the city. A lot of people came from rural areas to cities. Even in the suburban areas, some of the people got confused, saying that it could be a dustbin, because dustbins were using stainless steel very heavily. The city environment. In the city environment, there were dustbins and there were post box in stainless steel. So they would confuse it with dustbins. Large bins in the metros and all. So it's a very, very shocking revelation for us, but we took it in our stride. We said, this is the mandate of the people, and we need to, be humble and understand people's needs more closely before we go ahead with our design journey. So then we went to Ministry of Posts again. They got a feedback. They had a board meeting in which they said, oh no, we don't want to change our round look. We want it round. Let Professor Chakravarti design better manufacturing using round shape. Why should we change the shape to rectangular or square? So, we fell flat on our face. Then they said redesign the same modular and good manufacturing, CNC and all, using round shape. And all other features were appreciated. They said everything else is good. It's excellent, new manufacturing, because today materials are new. Use stainless steel, no problem. But retain our round shape. So they sent a letter to me, now design a round one. So where are we back now? From pilot production, we fell back to mock-up. This is the third time we're moving there. So that's a big challenge.